It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
It is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin. Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for semifinal week of Season 6 of the Center... what the fuck is a Samoflange?
Samoflange.
I don't care. I'm going to roll with it. I'm sorry. I've been delivering pizzas. I've been one of Pedro's pizzas for the last few weeks as my life goes into shambles. I don't care if this podcast sucks. Anyway, joining me on the show for this train wreck is the coach of the Hackettstown Hagglers, commissioner of the league, Mr. Geza Lutsky. How are you, sir?
Hello, we've lost losers of about to be 9 straight, I think.
I think it was like 8 straight or something. I don't even know. It was quite impressive. You're actually literally playing in the trade game, which is this week, which we'll get into briefly in the who gives a shit, whatever. Sorry we were not on last week. As I had mentioned, I was delivering things for Postmates because I am losing my job and panicking about money. So, whatever. I was too busy driving. I couldn't do it in the car. So here we are this week. I have some time. Even though we are a day late. But all right, let's go over last week's games. We saw what happened in the last week of the season. It was quite exciting. It came down basically to that Pittsburgh. Who did even Pittsburgh play? That Pittsburgh it was the Chargers game, right? Pittsburgh Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, and Kimmel ended up beating me by 1.33 points, which got him into the playoffs instead of Lombardi, which led to my loss. So I moved to 2-7 against Tillett. I mean, unbelievable. This guy has my number. I haven't beaten him in years. I don't know what it is. He got 3-0 against the 1603ers on the season for Tillett. I guess that's after this week's games, which we can cover right now, because who cares? All right, so Tillett trade team beats the 1603s 145.78 to 105.30. I mean, Amari Cooper 49.70 points. What more do you have to say? Between that and Saquon getting 29.7. This was pretty much a done deal. I was actually in the car delivering at that time too, and I just kept seeing alerts for Prescott getting touchdowns. Of course, he was unfortunately throwing it to Amari Cooper each time, which just completely fucked me over. Another thing that completely fucked me over is Justin Jackson, who had a great game the week before, sucked it up last week. Austin Eckler got all the touches then, and then he got injured, so whatever. So he only gets 5.5 points. Between that and I had the Detroit defense drop them for the Washington defense, which that really went well to the New York Giants, and those two things still wouldn't have been enough to counter Amari Cooper, but at least it would have made it closer. Not that it matters, because I would have been out either way. Congratulations to the trade team. I mean, I guess we could go over these numbers. Roethlisberger 23.28, 12.6 for Mike Evans, 49.7 for Amari Cooper, 29.7 for Saquon Barkley, Blount only 5.1, 6.5 for Njoku, 10.9 for Lockett, 2 for Bryant, and 6 for the Denver defense. For the 1603ers, 32.4 for Prescott, 12 for Samuel, 8.2 for Boyd, Mark Ingram with 12.3, Gus the Bus Edwards with 6.7. Oh, so impressive, Gus the Bus. 16.2 for Samuels, playing in the tight end position. He was eligible for that. I think I spent $80-something on that for those 16 points. Woo! And 5.5 for Jackson, 10 for Rosas, and 2 for the Washington defense. Yeah, I mean, look, the 1603ers were largely built this entire season with the core of Connor. I mean, it was supposed to, I guess Bell. I mean, we didn't even plan for Bell. We just got stuck with him in the stupid auction. So then we just designed it around that and Gordon, and then both of them went down. What do you want? We have this cast of jabronis in there. I mean, like, we're trying to plug and play some wide receivers all season, but it doesn't even matter if you don't have any running. I mean, we even played with 4. I mean, we had 4 running backs in this game. Yeah, we couldn't do shit. Especially with Justin Jackson getting 5 and Gus Edwards getting 6.7. That's all you could muster, you fuckers. I mean, and look, Tillett. I mean, other than the 49 points from Amari Cooper, this could have been a winnable game. Just like the week before could have been winnable, but it doesn't matter. We suck ass. Tillett, way to ride the Cooper. Like if anybody deserves to have Amari Cooper pay off for him, it's certainly Tillett. He stuck with him all season long. He cost him that first game. Almost cost him the playoffs because of that. But he gets in. Rode Cooper, him and Saquon Barkley was enough. Good for him. Congratulations. You move on to the semifinals, and we move on to the 5th place game against the Millennials. I guess we should probably mention the consolation games that happened last week. So Nicky Baby beat Make Odwin Great Again, 132.54 to 83.64. And the Lightning Rods beat the Hackettstown Hagglers, 140.72 to 114.58. Oh, wait. Do you have anything to say about my game? I guess you're the analyst.
No, I think basically I've said it all.
Yeah, my team was garbage. What are you going to... what did you say? I think you said that was like the worst lineup you've ever seen in your life.
I've ever seen in my fantasy football life.
Yeah. And we cobbled together that with, like, the remaining budget just to get that. Yeah, pretty bad. I have nothing else to say about the constellation games, except that they happened. Which leads us to the other wild card game. Actually, a very interesting game. So, you had to think that Fitzmagic, the Millennials, would have been clear favorites against Nick and Jamie, who were on a slide down the elevator shaft for how many weeks? Almost as many as the Hagglers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but no, they pressed... It turns out they were not down the shaft. They pressed the first floor button and got off there. They defeat Fitzmagic 126.30 to 89.88. Wow. All right. So this game actually could use some analysis. I'll pay attention a little bit. So Cam Newton gets 11.9 points for Nick and Jamie, only 9.98 for Russell Wilson. What happened there? I didn't watch any of these games. I was too busy delivering pizza in my pathetic life. What happened?
I don't know. Minnesota was just atrocious. They must have just kept it on the ground.
I guess. I don't know. T.Y. Hilton gets 28.9 for Nick and Jamie and Golden Tate with only 1.7 points. Woo, he's been so good since he went to Philadelphia. So good, Marv. Fitzmagic gets 12.8 from Thielen. So, yeah, not much from him there. And then 8.8 for Demaryius Thomas. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. All right, for Nick and Jamie, 4.8 points for James White and 5.7 for Sony Michel. This team won? What happened? I must be... What? Okay, well, for Fitzmagic, 12.9 for Cohen and 3.9 for Jean-Luc Richard. Oh, Jordan Howard on the bench with 11.30 points, and then I see a real big mistake that took place there. All right, Gronk finally showed. Look, Gronk, 24.7 points for him and 20.7 points for Kelsey. Gronk finally showed up. Wow, that made a difference. 9 points for Goskowski, 8 for Lutz, 16 They read Defensive Digest this week. That's what happened. 16 points for them. However, Fitzmagic did not read Defensive Digest as they had the Chicago defense with 20 points on their bench. But they played Buffalo instead. And they lost by, well, would 20 points have made a difference? It would have made it 109. Oh, Beckham, I guess, was out. That hurts. I don't even know. 27.5 points for Kenny Stills. Wow. On the bench for Nick and Jamie. I mean, this team sucks. How did they get 126 even? Oh, 23 for Edelman. Oh, I missed that. Edelman got 23.6 and 9.8 from Riddick. I guess. Sure. I mean, by Grabthar's hammer, what a running back core. Jesus, I thought mine was bad.
As you played Fitzmagic, you would have beat him, actually.
I would have. That's the ironic thing. Yeah. I would have gotten a 1 week stay of execution. Because there's no way that my horrid team, my hobbling, everybody's on the injured reserve list team with 4 running backs who could barely muster 100 points. You'd think if you play 4 running backs, you should be able to get well over 100 points. Like, no, whatever. Okay. I mean, we're the only team that was able to play 4 running backs because of the tight end eligibility, but no, whatever. Okay. So that does it for last week's games. Anything else to say about that game? I mean, how was Fitzmagic pretty? I guess Russell Wilson really effed him there. All right. Yeah. So let's.
Well, me and Dr. Huck are actually playing for the tray. I'm looking to bring home all the hardware this season.
I know you're gonna go from all of last that you can literally go from first to worst.
Yep.
So let's cover the Tillett Tray game. It's the annual Tillett Tray game as.
Welcome, Dr. Hockey.
As Dr. Hockey takes on the Hackettstown Hagglers. Make Odwin great again. Having about as good as week as the other MAGA folks. Okay, so let's look at this game. Because it's the Tillett Tray game. That's the only reason why I'm paying any attention to this. It doesn't really matter. But it's the Tray game. All right, so Drew Brees at Carolina versus Deshaun Watson at the Jets. Hopkins at the Jets. Adams at Chicago. Larry Fitzgerald for Dr. Hockey at Atlanta. Robert Woods versus Philadelphia. For hockey, Royce Freeman. Is that guy still? What happened to Lindsey? Oh, he's playing in the flex, so he's playing them both. Okay. So Freeman, Lindsey, and Carlos Hyde are going against Adrian Peterson, Dalvin Cook, John Brown, Tim Burton. Yeah, whatever. I don't care about any of this. Fournette is...
Neither do I.
Yeah, Fournette's in the game. I don't know. You're favored, 110 to 104. I mean, look. Hockey deserves the tray. What was his final record? His final record was 2-11. You were 3-10.
Yeah, but I was right there at 3-10. We made a push at the end.
You really did. That's quite a push that you made at the end. Yeah, look, I think hockey's gonna win the tray. Unfortunately, I think you're gonna pull this one out. I think the schneid ends now. Although you've been atrocious lately, so I don't know.
Don't count us out.
I know. Hockey had some good weeks there. You have not had a good weeks in. I can't remember. How did you 3 wins all season? It feels like you were somewhat in contention at some. What happened this season?
Hey, don't count us in yet.
Yeah, I know. Well, it would be quite a feat to go from the champion to the tray holder. You're just collecting everything.
We already had the championship, so now we're just looking for the last piece of hardware is the Tillett Tray. That's actually been elusive for the Hagglers their whole career.
I know. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a season league anywhere that you have won last place in anything. But
I don't think so.
But you finally have a chance to collect some extra hardware.
We're almost there. One more game. He's reached the bottom.
You'll have every record that there is to hold in the center, including the tray.
We have a Clay plate, right? We have a Carl plate.
Yeah, you had a Hans.
We've had plenty of semi cups,
Yes, I think
Madden
10.
trophies, and now we're going to the holy grail, the Tillett tray. These teams can do it all.
Well, that's better than, well, let's see. The 5th place game is just the most pathetic. I think, like, at least the tray has some, something to it. The 5th place game, who the fuck cares about that? Like, that is just the most pathetic game on the entire roster. 1603 is face Fitzmagic. I mean, I do want to beat the millennials just because I used to work with them. I'm losing my job, so I'm not anymore. Probably be delivering pizza to his ass. But anyway, yeah, nobody cares about that game, so whatever. All right, the consolation semifinals. The St. Louis Blues take on the Lightning Rods. The Blues currently hold a 24-0 lead because Phillip Rivers played in the Thursday night game. The projection is 110. The current projection is 110 for the Blues and 129 for the Lightning Rods. That's about all the analysis I'm going to do on that. I think the Lightning Rods win it. Why not? And then Nikki Baby versus Black Ice Dynasty in the second battle of the people who traded with Eugene or Whalers. Nikki Baby won the first battle between him and Dr. Hockey. He moves on to play Black Ice Dynasty. The current projection is 103.86 to 95.45 in favor of Nikki Baby. 0 points for Keenan Allen. And 0 points for the Los Angeles defense and 3 points for Badgley. Whoa, what a game this is turning out to be. In the game that nobody cares about, but I guess if you move on to the, this is the chance to move on to the consolation finals that nobody cares about and has no impact on anything. So whatever. But I'm going to pick Nikki Baby in that, and let's move on to the real games. Now that we've at least given honorable mention to those. All right, the semifinals. We could start with which one do you want to start with? Whalers or Eugene's game?
Let's start off with Eugene because it looks like he left 36.5 points on the bench.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt, Bob. All right, so Dave's secret crush taking on Nick and Jamie, who suddenly decided to get out of the elevator and maybe making a ride. Oh, wow, that would be quite something if they took off the last 2 months and they come back and defeat the guy that just knocked him down 7. Because look, Nick and Jamie was in first place for most of the season until it was taken over by Dave's secret crush. Can they claim that mantle back in this game? That would be fascinating. All right. So the greatest of all time already played and got 22.02 points. I don't know if that's going to cut it, Bob. Going against Cam Newton versus New Orleans. That's a pretty good matchup for him there. T.Y. Hilton playing versus Dallas. And Golden Tate at the Rams. Not a good matchup there. Michael Thomas going against Carolina. And Sanu he's going with. Playing versus Arizona this week. James White and Sony Michel, who's going with both New England running backs because they did so well for him last week. At Pittsburgh. Playing against McCaffrey, who's in New Orleans, and Elliott at Indianapolis. God. Gronk at Pittsburgh versus Cameron Brate. I think I give a little slight edge to Gronk, especially if he plays like he did last week. Now you got Edelman at Pittsburgh. Obviously the whole game comes down to the New England-Pittsburgh game because that's all that Nick and Jamie is rolling with. They got to hope for a good New England game. Isn't that what eliminated them last year, that New England-Pittsburgh game? You played them in that New England-Pittsburgh game. I seem to recall because I remember landing in Philadelphia and that game was still going on, and that's what allowed. Or were you playing Eugene for that? I don't know. I remember talking to you on that a year ago. For Dave's secret crush, Aaron Jones, he's going with him. He's been doing really well over the last few weeks and months. Well, okay. And then Gostkowski, so of course he's got to have the kicker in that Pittsburgh game, and the Seattle defense for Eugene Parkey, the Chicago kicker, and the Baltimore defense playing against Tampa Bay. I mean, Eugene should win this game. I mean, look, the current projection is 138.9.
It's off to a very interesting start. 36.5 points for Mike Williams on the bench.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I mean, had he gotten that, I mean, this would be over.
The overall record.
I mean, who's he playing at wide receiver? I mean, Michael Thomas and Sanu. I mean, Mike Williams, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would have made that move, although I'm not really paying attention to football right now that much, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that would have obviously clinched. I mean, if he doesn't win this game, he's going to be kicking himself for not making that decision. But look, I mean, he should win this game. I mean, he should. I mean, unless New England, so it's at Pittsburgh. It's the repeat of that game where what happened? There was the instant replay wasn't it with Jesse James where he fumbled it because it wasn't a full motion thing or whatever. Remember that game last year?
Yeah, it was the game.
Yeah, so that's a repeat of that. Also in Pittsburgh again. If New England, all of their players can do well, then Nick and Jamie can find themselves back into the championship game, which would be, quite a turnaround for them. But I don't see it happening. I see Eugene rolling. I mean, but bad start for Mahomes, and he made the mistake with Williams, so a glimmer of hope for Nick and Jamie, but I really don't think that's going to happen. I think we are going to see Eugene in the championship game. What about you?
Yeah, you're probably right. They'll probably hit the down button on the elevator once again. They were just paused. The elevator paused on the first floor.
I know, just enough to eliminate them, or just enough to eliminate the millennials. All right, that leaves us to the other game, which is actually an exciting game. Tillett Trey first of all, I think he's won 4 in a row. Granted, 2 of them were against my team, but he's been streaking towards the end. He's been pretty good, and Whalers is good too. I think this is, out of the 2 contests, I think this is the a battle of 2 good teams. All right, right now the current projection is actually in favor of Tillett Trey, 127.52 to 125.84. The Whalers has 12.10 points at this time. Only 8.1 from Tyreek Hill, 4 from Butker. Other than that, other people haven't played. All right, so Tillett is going with Roethlisberger at quarterback. Whalers going back to Trubisky versus Green Bay. For Tillett Trey, Mike Evans, and the amazing Amari Cooper. Evans at Baltimore and Cooper at Indianapolis. For the Whalers, as we mentioned, Tyreek Hill already played, and Pettis, D. Pettis, who is questionable versus Seattle. Sorry, I literally don't know anything about this guy. Oh no, well, he got 13 points last week, 29 the week before, and 17 the week before that. Okay, go with that guy. I don't know. Then you got Saquon and Frank Gore. So Saquon's playing versus Tennessee, and Gore's playing at Minnesota for Tillett Trey. For the Whalers, Kamara at Carolina, and Mixon versus Oakland. Those are pretty good matchups for him there, for the Whalers. For the Whalers, Zach Ertz at the Rams. I mean, kind of a tough game there, but, they did come off that terrible loss to Chicago last week. And for Tillett Trey, Ian Thomas. He got 16.7 points. I guess he's filling in for Olsen. Okay. Playing against New Orleans this week. Tyler Lockett, who I seem to recall. What did he do? He got 10 points last week. I mean, Lockett's been pretty good. Going against Nick Chubb, who he's been good as well. So, good matchups all around. For Tillett, Bryant versus Arizona and the Atlanta defense. As we mentioned, Butker already got 4 points in Houston. is playing at the Jets, which I think is a good choice there for the Whalers. He also sat another Williams, who had 30.3 points. Wow, this was not the day to sit Williams, people. Jeez. Damian Williams, the running back for the Chiefs, got 30.3 points. Wow. Okay. So if he loses, he's going to be kicking himself over that decision. Didn't he pick up Ware also? I mean, he has so many running backs. I mean, like, he wishes that he had a running back that could also play tight end like me, because he would play. I don't know. Look, I mean, the projection right now is in favor of Tilletre. I think, one of the weak spots is at running back or RB2. Frank Gore. I mean, is he really going to carry, especially against Minnesota? I mean, what's Kamara been doing lately? Because I know that Ingram hasn't been doing dick. 15, 10, pedestrian numbers. I mean, Saquon can certainly outplay that. And if Cooper has a great game, I mean, Tillett can be in there. Look, I think Whalers is going to win this game, but I mean, look, he's off to a bad start, and he's vulnerable. I mean, this really could be the opportunity for Tillett to take advantage of it, but I think Whalers might ultimately pull. I don't know. What do you think?
I gotta say, Tillett's got a chance. I mean, Whalers has played 2 people and has amassed 12 points.
I know.
It's interesting. It's an interesting start for Tilletre, but Gore's, Roethlisberger, Evans. I don't know. If Amari Cooper blows it up again for 40 points, Whalers is finished.
Yeah, I mean that's basically. I mean, basically, he's got to hope for Cooper and Barkley to ride him through. I mean, because the rest of this lineup doesn't look that great.
Wouldn't it be ironic if he rides Amari Cooper to a championship after the horrid for Amari Cooper? He never gave up, Richard. He never gave up on him.
I know. No, I mean that would be quite a story if that happened. I mean, Eugene has to just be sitting there going, I got this. I mean, if Eugene wins this week, as long as he doesn't falter to the Nick and Jamie Patriots, he's got to have this wrapped up. I mean, first of all, he blew out Whalers 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. I mean,
yeah, we can thank Nick and Odwin for this championship.
Well, but look, he did, whatever. He made the trades. He did it. Whatever. I'll live in a world where Eugene is a champion of a center league, and I've never been. That's just, one of you fuckers beat him. I mean, first of all, let's just say, to reveal my biased cards, I'm kind of rooting for Tillett. I'd like to see him, Kimmel, go for it. I even told him, I mean, we were texting back and forth during the game, and I told him I'm, good luck and congratulations, and I'm totally rooting for you. Nick and Jamie, fine with that too. I've lived with Whalers championships before. I don't like it, but I've lived with it before. Eugene championship, though. God. And look, Whalers, you better get your fucking shit together if you're going to be the one that's taking on Eugene. Let me tell you that right now. Get your fucking shit together if you're going to do it. Or just get eliminated by Tillett right now and let Amari Cooper try to take him down. Or Nick and Jamie, do something. Look, a Nick and Jamie versus Tillett Trey final, I can get behind that. I can get behind any combination. Well, and look, it's like the Yankees. Not that Eugene is the Yankees, but pick your enemy team, whatever. It still creates ratings if Eugene is in there, because I'm going to certainly root against him. But whatever. All right. I don't know. Do you think Tillett makes it? I mean, it's looking bad for Whalers right now. Could you imagine if he doesn't make it?
No, Whalers has worked hard to get where he is.
Yeah. I mean, look, Eugene has too. I mean, you had to send those, you had to send those trade offers out 24/7. I tease. Of course, I'm going to get a huge barrage of text messages tomorrow. I need to defend my honor. That's what he told me last week. He wanted to be on the show last week, which I would have let him. And actually, let me just say that there is an open invite to whoever, to the two finalists next week, to be on the podcast. We'd like to hear from you. And in fact, we'll try to make it work into your schedule if you want. I mean, I guess we could try on a Saturday or something, since people have kids or crap or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. I could just interview you from my car at this point. My new office. As I deliver Pedro's pizza. It's not my permanent solution, but who knows? Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all right. So what's your? I mean, not that we, whatever. What's your lock of the week?
Lock of the week. Oh, that's a tough one for this week. Lock of the week. Interesting. I would have to say, what, in the actual games that matter, or overall?
Well, let's do both. What's your overall?
See, I don't know. I'd rather do the upset of the week is going to be Nick and Jamie over Eugene.
Really? Because I'm picking the other one for the upset. I'm picking Tillett Trey as the upset of the week.
Lock of the week is
in the game is that
Three is clobbering Fitzmagic.
Really, I don't think so. But whatever. My overall lock of the week, I think it's the Lightning Rods beating the St. Louis Blues. I think my overall upset of the week, I think it's gonna be hockey beating you. To just give you all the trophies in the league. It's destiny. Nice. Just like last year was destiny for you to be at the top, this year it's destiny for you to be at the bottom.
I want that trophy bad.
All right. Yeah, but realistically, are you picking Crush versus the Whalers in the championship game, or do you think potentially otherwise? I think it's going to be Eugene and Whalers.
Probably going to be Eugene and Whalers, but imagine a Nick and Jamie versus Tillett Trey.
I mean, that would be something. I mean, that's, I mean, like, things would have to break right. I mean, look, Whalers has already gotten off to a bad start, but I think that he has enough, especially at the running back position, to counter it. And so I think he's going to ultimately pull it out. For Nick and Jamie, I mean, look, Mahomes didn't have, like, the greatest game ever. But, I mean, White and Michelle and Gronk and Edelman, I mean, is he really going down this road again? I mean, it's been like 8 weeks that he's been trying. I mean, is this going to be the week that they're going to blow up and do it for him? I don't think so. I mean, he's still got McCaffrey versus New Orleans and Elliott and Indianapolis. I mean, I just think that he's too, Michael Thomas hasn't been, what has he done? He got 20 points last week, but he was cool the weeks before that. Sanu, that's a weak spot, but but Golden Tate has sucked monkey balls. Like, what is he? 1.7? It's just, when you get to this point, there's a reason why 4 out of the last 5 finalists were, the 2 teams that got the bye. The only exception to that rule has been you last year. It could be one of those things where it just completely, breaks the trend. But I think that these 2 teams, you know, they. I mean, because
could this be the second straight season where a 7-6 team wins it all?
Which one would that be?
Nick and Jamie.
Yeah. Well, also, Till at Trey. Oh no, they were 8-5. Sorry. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, that would be. I just don't see it happening. I mean, here's the interesting thing. I really do think that Eugene and Whalers got hot at the right time. You know, and I mean, like, they had the week off. I mean, I almost see Eugene kind of in the position that, I mean, not exactly, but somewhat akin to what we went through last year, where, you know, especially towards the end of the season. I mean, look, we ran the table up until the last game where, you know, we finally lost that, as we all know, in the fashion that we did. But, you know, we were starting to not be as great the last few weeks. I meant Whalers is actually going through this. I don't even know. Whatever. What's a Samoflange? I don't know. I don't even have any analysis left. Whatever. Yeah, Whalers and Eugene. We'll see you next week. Come on the program. Trash talk each other. I saw you trash talking on Facebook. It'll be a fun episode to listen to the two of you. I mean, granted, then we'll have no viewers because all of our viewers will be on the show, but whatever. We could do it. Yeah, I don't know. All right. You have anything else to say?
No, mercifully, just one more week of this podcast shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, theoretically, we're supposed to do 2.
Ugh.
Come on, Theo. It's Christmas.
Why would we do 2?
I mean, we never got around to doing it last year, so I guess I won't force you to do it this year with the wrap-up show.
Yeah, we wrapped it up a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, you know, whatever. All right. That's it. Well, just be happy. 36 minutes. All right. I'll talk to you later. Good luck, guys. When we see who the new finalists will be. I mean, and really, unless Nick and Jamie can pull this out, we'll have a new, first-time champion. So, otherwise, we'll have. So we're either gonna have. I mean, this is interesting. So we're either gonna have our first ever 2-time champion, or we're gonna have a new time or a first-time champion. So,
Wow.
It's not that interesting, but I mean, it's at least something. All right. See you next week, guys.
Yeah, see you next week, everybody.